Hey everyone, let's talk about something that probably drives you a little bit crazy. All those repetitive, boring digital tasks. You know, copying and pasting the same info, sending the same emails, it's a total time waster. Well, today, we're going to build a system to crush that busy work for good. Let's dive in.
So, does this whole routine sound familiar? A new lead comes in, and you have to drop whatever you're doing to copy their info, paste it into a spreadsheet, draft a welcome email, and then you do it all over again an hour later. Ugh, it's a huge drag on your productivity, and let's be honest, it's just not fun. Okay, now picture this, a totally hands-free system. A lead fills out your form, bam, their info is instantly logged. The system figures out if they're a good fit, all by itself. And then a personalized welcome email is sent out immediately, all while you're off doing, the important stuff. This isn't some far-off dream. It's exactly what we're about to build together. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet our new best friend, a tool called N8N. Then we'll get our hands dirty and build that lead automation workflow, step by step. After that, we're going to give it a serious upgrade with an AI copilot. And finally, we'll talk about where you can go from here on your own automation journey.
All right, first things first, let's get properly introduced to the awesome tool that's going to make all this magic happen.
So what in the world is N8N? Put simply, it's a visual automation tool. It lets you connect all your different apps, we're talking Google Sheets, your email, even powerful AI without writing a single line of code. You just connect these little building blocks called nodes to create a workflow. Seriously, just think of it like building a digital assembly line for all your tasks.
Now, you've probably heard of other tools like Zapier, right? So how does N8N stack up? Well, Zapier is great, it's super easy to use, but N8N gives you a ton more flexibility for more complex stuff, and it can be way cheaper, especially if you decide to host it yourself. That makes it a real powerhouse for growing your automations without a crazy monthly bill.
And speaking of hosting, you've got two great ways to go. There's NN Cloud, which is the easy button. It's the absolute fastest way to get started, no server stuff to worry about. Then, for the most bang for your buck long term, you can self-host it. This route can literally save you 70 to 80% once you've got a lot of automations running. It's incredible.
Once you're inside, it's pretty easy to find your way around. Workflows is your playground, where you build everything. Credentials is like your secure digital keychain for connecting to other apps. Executions is the history book. It shows you every single time your automation ran. And my favorite place to start? Templates. It's a goldmine of pre-built recipes to get you up and running in no time.
Okay, enough theory. Let's actually see this thing in action. It is time to build our very first workflow. We're going to take a new lead all the way from a simple form submission to getting a slick automated email.
Here's the blueprint for our little assembly line. It all starts with a trigger. That's when someone fills out our web form. That kicks off an action. Their info gets logged in a Google Sheet. Next, we use some logic to filter out anyone who isn't a good fit. Then we use branching to send different folks down different paths. And it all finishes with that final action, sending out that perfectly personalized email.
Now, to connect to things like Google, we have to use what are called credentials. Don't let the name scare you. It's basically just the secure key to your other apps. And the best part is, you only have to set it up once. After that, you can reuse that secure connection in any workflow you build. It's super safe and a huge time saver.
And here's where the real magic happens: personalization. To automatically pull a lead's name right into an email, you use something called an expression. It looks like that little bit of code on the screen. All that's really saying is, hey, NN, go grab the first name from the data you got earlier and pop it right here. It's a super simple trick that makes every single automated email feel like you wrote it by hand.
Okay, our automation is built, it's working, it's saving us time, that's awesome. But what if we could make it not just fast, but actually smart? Let's give this thing a brain and power it up with an AI copilot.
So, you ready for this? We're about to turn this simple little workflow into an intelligent powerhouse. This is where it gets really, really cool.
And believe it or not, it only takes 3 little steps. First, you pop an OpenAI node right into your workflow. Second, you just write a simple prompt telling the AI what you want it to do, like write a catchy opening line for this person. And third, you just tell your email to use that new text the AI created. That's it. It's really that simple.
And just like that, you've built your first intelligent automation. Pretty awesome, right? Now, let's just wrap up with a couple of key takeaways to make sure your automation journey is a huge success.
Okay, just keep these 4 pro tips in mind. 1, start with the templates and then tweak them. It's the fastest way to learn. 2, keep your first few workflows nice and simple.
don't try to boil the ocean. 3. Get to know the execution logs. They are your absolute best friend when something goes wrong. And 4, when you're ready to level up, the official docs are fantastic.
And here's the real kicker. What you learned today? Triggers, actions, logic, and adding a little AI, those are the fundamental building blocks for pretty much any automation you can think of. You now have the core skills to automate countless other tasks.
So that brings us to the big question. You've just automated one tedious task and won back some of your precious time. The only thing left to ask is, what are you going to automate next?